Hey everyone, and welcome to Already Cancelled. I'm Peter, that is Connor, and we are going to talk about Star Trek, the original series, Season 3, Episode 4. It's called And the Children Shall Lead. So, full spoilers for the episode, as always. So, this one, the Enterprise gets a distress call, and they land on this planet that's got a scientific research outpost on it. Now, it's not a big population or anything like that, just a small team, a few families. When they arrive, the last of the adults dies in front of them, and only the kids are left. And more bizarrely, the kids don't seem to care that all their parents are dead. They're just running around playing and having fun and smiling. So obviously the crew take the kids on board, try and figure out what happened. Kirk's very concerned. He wants to talk to the kids. McCoy's very concerned. He thinks they're all just sort of
in denial.
yeah, in denial and not grieving properly, and that's not healthy. So he thinks it's purely that. And Kirk's very concerned. Ultimately, what the episode becomes is the kids are actually being possessed by an evil entity that was uncovered. Think kind of like when, in a movie, when someone goes into like a pyramid or an Egyptian tomb and releases a curse. Basically, these scientists did that in the planet. The evil entity of this planet is in the kids, and talks to them. They do a little sort of basically they say Beetlejuice 3 times, but in song. And the ghostly figure appears, and he's given them telepathic-esque power or telekinetic. Well, telepathic.
It is telepathic, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm just thinking because it makes them do things, but no, it's usually through like manipulation more than it is controlling.
They control people's minds, not physical objects. So it's telepathic.
Oh yeah, but it's not straight telepathy in the sense that it's not taking complete control of their mind. It's like they have to like talk them into it in their head, if that makes sense, rather than I can just take control of your head and just make you do things.
Right, but it's still telepathy because just reading minds is telepathy.
It is. I'm just saying it's not straight. It's different from any other telepathy I've ever seen. Is what I'm saying. It's not traditional telepathy.
No, that's fair. It's a telepathic coercion.
There you go.
So that's how I describe it.
Because it doesn't seem like they can just read minds. It doesn't seem like they can
No,
just
they
control
can't.
people either. There's a lot of limitations to this. It's very specific. They can only do one type of thing.
Yeah, definitely. They kind of have to talk them into it in their mind, and then they're convinced this thing's there. They just see things that are not there, or
Yeah.
they become really focused on a specific object task.
Yeah, if anything, they can manipulate what they're seeing and what they're perceiving, but that's about it.
Yeah, and I'd say their general mood a little bit because like some of them they get so dead set on their mission, what they've got to be doing, and they can't be talked out of it.
So that's kind of the plot of the episode is that the kids take control of the Enterprise, and everyone has to, Kirk and Spock kind of have to fight against being taken control of and fight against the kids and figure out how to stop it. That's the plot of this one. So, did you enjoy And the Children Shall Lead?
No, I didn't. And even if this was actually a better episode, I probably still wouldn't because I really dislike these sorts of episodes with kids in it. The kids just annoy me in TV shows when it's this sort of thing. We spoke about this recently when we did an episode of Lois and Clark.
Yeah. See, I enjoyed that episode of Lois and Clark. This episode, not so much. This episode is a chasm of ridiculous plot contrivances. On top of just some downright... Because I actually think the setup's kind of interesting. I kind of like the idea that, we discovered an ancient evil on this planet, we released something, all the parents are dead. That on its own, right, those two elements, kind of good, kind of fun ideas. Like, mystery, it's a little bit different.
Yeah.
I feel it's a little bit different to what we normally have. I mean, you could argue it's almost a godlike figure, but it's a completely different style of telling the story.
Yeah, it's not. It doesn't fall into that at all. Because, godlike figures just do things, control things, and just change things because they can. This has a very specific objective. It's that it's trying to get. It's using the kids as a tool rather than just manipulating anything.
Where it falls down is the kids are pretty awful. In particular, the leader, who I should refer to simply as the ginger from henceforth.
Yes, that ginger little shit.
Yes, he's pretty awful. Also, you can't help but not just feels silly every time, because when we're saying they're taking control of people, or we're saying that they're manipulating people into doing certain things, every time they do it, they actually act it out. There's like a little motion they do. They do this thing with their hand where they sort of
It's a
go like
little
this.
stabbing motion, isn't it?
Well, it's almost like they're doing rock, paper, scissors. They're just not doing the end of it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, they're doing the 1, 2, 3, but they're not,
Yeah, no, you're right.
but they're not, having the paper or whatever at the end. So that's basically what they're doing. But on top of that, not only are they doing this motion as they're staring very intently at whoever they're trying to like manipulate, it's also accompanied by this ridiculous over-the-top sting in the music.
Yep, every time.
Every time. To the point where it started being funny. Like, it almost went full circle, and I started laughing every time they did it, because the music was so over the top.
Yeah. And then you go back round to, okay, it's awful again now.
So, that's a problem, right? So I'm having trouble. It's actively been annoying, and I'm having trouble taking it seriously. That said, I did... there was a sick enjoyment of one part of this episode, which I don't think is meant to be taken the way I took it. I took it as dark comedy, right?
Oh, I can't wait to hear what this is.
Right? But I don't think that's the intention. So to fix this whole problem, the whole thing is, we have to show the kids reality. And they do this, because throughout the episode they've been watching like footage, like the scientists on the planet were making like logs, video logs, and like the science like, we've encountered this thing, this great evil, and they sit around, Kirk and Spock and McCoy sit around and debate this potential evil, and McCoy's very like, this is just hogwashing stories, Jim, you can't do this, blah, blah, blah. But Spock's like, but sometimes, legends are based in some kind of truth, there's like a truth at the centre that maybe it spread from. And so they're debating all this, but they've got these logs. To snap the kids out of it, they show them footage of them playing with their parents. They're having like a picnic in the planet, and they're like, they're kicking balls around, they're throwing balls at each other, and they're laughing, they're smiling, they're chasing each other around. There's the parents and the kids in perfect harmony. And then it cuts to footage of all the parents being dead. And then it cuts to all their tombstones that apparently the crew planted while they were down there before they get back in the ship.
Yep.
And I started laughing because I thought this was really sinister. Like,
It is. It's not the only quite dark moment of the episode either.
No.
There's a point earlier on when Kirk thinks they're still in orbit around the planet.
Oh yeah.
But they're not, because the kids have changed all that.
Yeah, that's the thing. They make like Sulu or whoever start going towards this planet they want to go to, because Gurgen, the being that that's controlling them, wants to like invade and take it over with the kids as his generals. And they make them go towards this planet, but they make everyone think, including like Sulu and everyone else, that they're still, because part of the drama that happens here is that when like Scotty notices, or when Kirk notices, whoever's noticing, it's like, hey, we're not on orbit. Why are you moving? And the person using the controls is insisting, no, we are in orbit. What are you talking about? I'm following orders.
And it gets really defensive. It's like, you're not allowed to touch this machinery.
And so they think they're still over the planet. So, okay, let's go down and investigate. Send a couple of red shirts down. And they beam down to red shirts and then go, wait a minute. We're not at the planet anymore. Where did we beam those to? Into space. Which is really dark. I do have to question the logic of this, though. Almost every time you've seen someone beam down, they always mention, okay, I've got readings and I know where I'm going. There's always there's a technician there who's actually tracking where they're going to go.
Okay, I will defend this.
Hold on, but let me just add one more point to this. Not only is there a planet not there, they're in warp speed.
Yeah, okay. So, the way I'll defend this is I assume they beam down based relative to their position. They don't beam to a coordinates. They go, right, we're going down this amount of meters, it's this distance away from the ship. So they've already got those settings from before, because they're in stationary orbit, so they're exactly in the same position. So they just send down exactly where we were before. No need to think about it. Just hit the button. There they go.
Bullshit. There is no way that would be how this operates. That may be how they calculate where they're going. There is no chance in hell with this technology that you would not check before you start beaming people away. Because if you beam them inside a wall, they're dead. If you beam them into space, they're dead. You would check. You would always check.
Maybe it's just that routine that they just hit the buttons. It's like, he'll do.
Bullshit. And before anyone says, there was no kids in the transporter room manipulating it. It wasn't like they were making the technician, the red shirt who's doing it. No one's making him see something he's not supposed to see. He's just shit at his job.
Arguably, yeah.
So, so no, some of that's on him. But to go back to the other scene that I thought was darkly very funny, was with the tombstones and like, seeing the kids playing, and then oh, they're dead now, or the adults are dead now. So after seeing this,
kids were dead.
the kids all start crying, and like it just cuts between them all, just all like with tears coming down their face. And then McCoy, who is oddly disappeared for most of the episode, like after his initial concerns, he kind of just vanishes and then just shows up at the end. Like the actual plot of everyone being controlled never actually seems to like even reach him in any way.
It's mostly Kirk, Spock, and a little bit of Scotty down below. And you got Uhura, Sulu,
The bridge
Chekhov
crew
on the bridge. Yeah.
But like when I say never reach, it's not like just he doesn't get controlled at any point or manipulated at any point. He never even really seems to find out really that there's anything going on. He's just away, because when he comes in at the end, he's still just concerned about the kids and not dealing with their
He
feelings.
assumes they're still in denial. Yeah.
He walks in and sees them crying. He's like, Jim, they're crying.
It's brilliant.
It's pretty funny. I mean, it's not. I mean, it's not intentionally funny, but it's pretty funny.
I think Bones' reaction might be funny. Him coming in and be like, they're crying.
Oh sure,
that's supposed to be funny because he's missed it all.
Okay, maybe that is meant to be funny, but
the kid's reaction itself to just and the way it cuts to the dead body.
Do you know what it was though? What really got me is that it cut between each kid crying and then cut to their respective parents' tombstone, like one by one. Like I thought after the first one or two, okay, we get the point. You don't have to show us them all, and it just kept going. Every single one, their tombstone, kid, the parents' tombstone. It was over and over again, and I was like, oh, this is just. Oh dear. Yeah. But we've already talked about easily the more interesting parts of the episode, because other than that, you've got Kirk sitting down with them when they're eating ice cream and trying to get them to talk.
That's a scene I hated with a passion. Them deciding their ice cream flavors. So she's asking the last kid, here's all your things. Combine the flavors, get what you want. Sure, that's fine. The kid goes, oh, I don't know, just whatever. Surprise me. So puts it in, it's like vanilla and coconut, and the kid goes, well, this is shit, I wanted something better. Well, you should have asked for something else, shouldn't you? And then immediately gives out this order of, I don't know what it is, it ends it with like peach or something. And I'm like, well, why did you just send it in the first place, you little shit?
Yeah, that's fair.
What a waste of an ice cream.
I don't think of the world the same way you do. I don't attribute my anger in how much liters of ice cream have been wasted.
Well, I'm just saying they made a perfectly good ice cream for no reason, just because this kid's a dick, and then I got thrown away.
And for the record, you don't even like coconut, so you're actually.
I hate coconut, but I just on principle, this kid is a dick, and you.
I've never had coconut ice cream actually. That sounds quite nice.
I haven't had coconut ice cream. I don't like coconut in general.
Yeah, you don't like coconut, but I do like coconut, so I'm like, oh, coconut ice cream, that could actually.
Is that a thing? I've never seen it.
Don't see why it couldn't be. You get all these exotic sort of ice cream places that do. Lots of various wacky flavors that you wouldn't normally think of, and then someone just asked for vanilla. So. I'm proud I tied that in. That was like, oh, we're talking about ice cream. How often do I get this chance?
I can't believe you got to
that. Oh, dear. And if you only watch our Star Trek discussions, you have no idea what that was a joke about. But that's okay. For all the other fuzzers, you all know exactly what's going on. Anyway, so here's my thing with the ice cream scene. This is just a weird complaint for me. But so Nurse Chapel, right? She's the one giving out the ice cream, and this kid, says, "Oh, this is boring. Can I have something else?" And he says like three things, and then he pauses and says a fourth thing, and whatever it was, peach or whatever.
I'm sure it
was
at the end.
And she sort of turns and looks at him like, "Oh, he's being greedy now. Four things." And I'm like, "Yeah, but it's not like he's asking for whole things of each of these four things.
He's just asking flavors.
It's flavors on the ice cream. It doesn't really matter how many there are. It's not necessarily.
It's a weird combination. Maybe
it's a weird combination, but
it's not, this kid's being greedy. It's more like, really, peach with all that.
I mean, if he said he wants, like, I want cake, ice cream, a donut, and then a pause, and then and a pie. Like, then you make the face and go, no, you've been a greedy little shit. But it felt weird to me because it was like...
do that before he gets to the pie, frankly, but...
Well, yeah, admittedly, I picked really fatty things there, but you know what I mean. It felt weird to me. She was so like, "Oh, is he being greedy with this fourth thing?" I'm like,
I
yeah,
know
it's a fourth flavor. It's
it's not a big
weird,
deal.
but it's not like, yeah.
I criticized the other part, but that her reaction there, yeah, it's like that. That's not the problem with this. The problem is him doing this in the first place, not picking the extra flavor.
You think he just said "Hail Hitler" or something? The way she reacts, she turns around and all like, "What'd you say?"
She does, doesn't she? And she's like, fine, and gets the next card out instead.
Oh, dude. Anyway, so uh, also, I love that he picks four random things, and she's only holding like 4 or 5 cards, and she happens to have the exact 4 cards that are needed for
I mean, to be
his
fair,
issue.
she just gives the kids like 2 each and goes, right, go make whatever flavors you want.
Well, you think this is just like a pass card to say give them authorization to like get food?
Well, see, I would, but then she actively swaps which one she's going to do.
That's
Because,
true.
he,
That's
he
true.
says the 3 things, she goes to put one in, and he says, and peach, and she pulls out a different one.
We spent like a third of this talking about this ice cream scene.
I think that tells you how shite this episode is. That
That said, though, there was some funny stuff. Mostly unintentional, but that does make it better than say some other bad episodes where I'm just bored and annoyed that the whole thing.
yeah,
I was at least cackling at some of this in a kind of dark
it was
way.
amusingly bad. Yeah.
Yes. Uh, yeah. Actually, I read an interesting thing. I usually have the wiki up for the episode as a
Yeah, you do all the time. Names, things like that.
yeah, things like that. Oh wait, that was on a different page I was looking at. But I'll remember the gist of it. I might misquote it slightly, but the general gist of what was said. Basically, Leonard Nimoy, who we've mentioned before, when Spock's brain, he was quite critical of that episode. When he read the script for this, he protested to whoever. I don't think it was Roddenberry, but someone who the script.
I think I've got that. It was the script producer.
There you go. You got it there.
Yes.
Uh,
Yeah.
oh, you've got it. You read
Yeah, the producer said this
wording.
script is what is going to be what Miri should have been, and Nimoy said, he objected, called Miri a beautiful, well acted story, and clearly implying that this is just no, this is shite. Yes, and he felt that the producer's comments were as much as saying Miri was a piece of trash. If this was supposed to be the improvement.
Do you know what? I can't help it. I can almost imagine this conversation taking place like between like Zack Snyder and someone like who cares about DC movies. Like when he's making like Batman v Superman and someone's like, "Hey, this isn't right," and then Snyder saying, "Nah, this is much better than that piece of trash Dark Knight. Well, I'll do it my way."
It is, isn't it? It's exactly like that.
That's what it feels like. It's an awkward episode. Like I say, all the stuff with the kids doing their hand motion and taking control of things.
Yeah.
It's not particularly exciting. It's one of many episodes, as I understand it, this season, which are kind of intentionally bottle episodes. Mostly take place on the ship for budget reasons, which is fine. Like I like a good bottle episode.
That exactly in premise, that's not bad. Some great episodes can take place on the ship. I'm all for that.
Yeah, but it's a weak episode. The kids are annoying. The threat could be way more interesting. This Gorgon fellow who's controlling them. Like I feel like there's way more you could do with him, and actually maybe make him kind of scary or something. Instead,
It
he's
just kind of appears, kind of like in almost like a hologram sort of form.
yeah.
And then it's like, yeah, do this.
Yeah, I feel like because they were hitting at these psychological things throughout the episode, like beaming the two guys into space. Like, if we actually felt the effect of that, like the dark, how dark that was, and then you dealt with like how dark this is that this guy's manipulating these kids into helping kill their parents. Like, I feel like it kind of just brushes over a lot of that.
It does. Even Gorgon's plan, like he wants to get to his planet because there are other people that he can make his followers. It's like it's a religion almost, like a cult.
By force.
Yeah, that's the way it plays.
Like Scientology.
Right, exactly. But it never actually gets into any of that stuff. It just kind of says, "Hey, look, this is the idea," and then that's it.
Yeah, it kind of just boils it down to here's the action plot of Kirk and Spock try to run around the ship and not get because at one point Chekhov and some red shirts come up and try and arrest Kirk and the Kirk foo gets broken out and
Is that what it's called?
That's what I'm calling it.
I'll allow it. It's pretty good. I assume someone better than you would come up with that.
You know what? Star Trek's been around for 50 years. I will be shocked if I'm the first person to call it Kirk Fu.
Yeah, me too. But
I'll
I've
be
never heard it
shocked.
before.
Yeah, I don't know. That's the episode. I have nothing else to add, I don't think.
I've got all my rage out.
Dear. What gets me as well at the end is I'm pretty sure like Kirk like picks like the little girl like jumps up into Kirk's arms and she's crying and she's just crying away and Kirk's just smiling the whole time because they've solved the problem.
Yeah, it's like these kids are devastated that their parents are all dead, and they're like, another mission successful.
Now
Now let's drop these kids off and be done with it.
No, that's like the idea. Another mission successful. We're holding the kids crying. Now is the perfect time to make fun of Spock a little bit. Don't you think, Leonard? Yes. The Vulcans are weird, aren't they, Spock? Yes. Oh, shut up, you little brat. There.
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh, there you go. That's And the Children Shall Lead. And this is why you don't have children lead, because you have episodes like this. So, thank you very much for watching or listening. Get us on the Twitters at mailed_fudge. If you want to support the channel, over at patreon.com/mailedfudgetv. There's a link in the description. Like, subscribe, all the usual jazz. But that is us, so thank you once again. We'll see you next time. Goodbye.